Hello students, welcome to your WebSeek Academy English channel. Today, we will discuss the lesson around a medicinal creeper, which is a part of your first PUC English syllabus. This interesting and humorous essay is written by K.P. Purnachandra Tejasvi, a well-known Kannada writer, environmentalist, and photographer. A note on the author. K.P. Purnachandra Tejasvi, 1938 to 2007, is a prominent Kannada writer, novelist, photographer, ornithologist, publisher, painter and environmentalist who made a great impression on the Navya period of Kannada literature and inaugurated the Bandya epoch with his short story collection, Appchurana Post Officu. In the early stages of his writing career, Tejasvi wrote poems but later concentrated on short stories, novels and essays. He has a distinguished style of writing which has heralded a new era in Kannada literature. Around a Medicinal Creeper Summary. Around a Medicinal Creeper by Purnachandra Tejasvi is about an unusual medicinal creeper about which the writer had heard many stories. Though he knew that not all stories were true, he also knew that not all stories were purely imaginary either. In this piece, he narrates various incidents that led to the discovery of the medicinal properties of the creeper. However, he admits that it took him almost 20 years to learn these facts. The first incident he narrates revolves around the act of putting up a shade over a coffee seed bed to protect it from the sun. The author tells us that Mara, a servant, was annoyed with Sana, another servant, for plucking a medicinal creeper. On knowing from Sana that there were many of these creepers in the forest, the writer along with Mara and Sana went to the forest out of curiosity. There he saw Mara tying the creeper to a nearby tree, referring to it a thief. Mara explained his actions by saying that the creeper was cursed by a sage, that it wouldn't be found by people when they needed it and searched for it. The writer counters the story with the explanation that the creeper came up immediately after the rains and died quickly. Hence, until the next season it was not seen. After offering this explanation, the author laments the fact that even if the creeper has some medicinal property, it would get lost in the tall tales woven around it. The author further points out that this is the fate of the whole system of Indian medicine, as people from the medical field are of the opinion that everything about the unique properties of plants and herbs is imaginary. Elaborating further on why the stories around the creeper seem to be false, the author shares with the readers a few more of Mara's improbable stories. One is about Mara cutting the artery of his hand while cutting bamboo shoots. Mara told the author that he had bandaged the wound after placing some leaf brought by someone, and had then gone to a white man at Hulihindalu for treatment. But, when the white man opened the bandage, there was not even the sign of the wound. The white man, who initially thought that Mara was trying to fool him, was later interested in finding the plant. But, though Mara searched for the plant for an entire day, he could not find the plant. The Englishman who had offered Mara his entire estate in exchange for the identification of the plant was angry with Mara, and even threatened to shoot him down. The Englishman thought that Mara was unwilling to show the plant because he was so greedy that the offer of the estate also did not satisfy him. Mara, who had told the author that every inch of the plant was medicinal, was not sure of what exactly it could cure. The author wondered if Mara hadn't really known the properties or whether he wasn't willing to let out the secret. However, the exaggerated element in his stories was such that no one would believe him even if there was truth in his stories. However, Mara had the knack of coming up with one more story when questioned about the authenticity of the previous one. He avoids the direct questions of the author about the medicinal creeper by narrating another story of the Caucans, crow pheasants, who chewed the leaves of the medicinal creeper to cure themselves of the snake bite. Mara's stories were not limited to the miraculous medicinal creeper. The stories had a flip side too. Mara explained the loss of the teeth on one side of his face with another totally cock and bull story. He told the author that he had lost his teeth when he had gone hunting rabbits to the forest before daybreak. According to him, when he brushed his teeth with a small stick of a plant, he lost the teeth which had been touched by the stick. The teeth were all from one side because on finding the taste of the plant to be sour, he had thrown the stick away and had gargled his mouth with the water of a nearby stream. When the author asked him to show the plant, Mara argued that it was impossible to find the plant among the thousands of plants. When the author made fun of him saying if he tried, he might find the plant which would bring back his teeth, Mara counter-argued that in the bargain he might eat something that was not supposed to be eaten and die also. When the author teased him saying that Mara could even find a plant that would bring back his youth, Mara said that he didn't want to become young as he didn't want to get married again. Even after all the teasing and doubting, Mara continued with his stories, making them more and more unrealistic. The author was speechless when Mara told him that a barking deer which had been killed and divided by him and his friends, transformed into a live deer and ran out of the house when the packet made out of the special leaves was removed. Mara added that his wife, without knowing the value of the leaves, threw them into the fire. Long after the death of Mara, the author came upon the same creeper again. But this time it was Appanna who was tying the creeper to a tree, and his version of the creeper was different. He said that the juice of the leaves of the creeper could harden milk. Initially, the author thought that the sourness of the leaves might have curdled the milk instead of thickening it. But when he tried it out with his friend Chandru, a plant pathologist, he realized that the milk did become hard and rubbery. It was then that the author was convinced that the creeper had some special qualities. However, he still didn't know which diseases it could cure. The author had another revelation after the lapse of some time, when his farmhand Krishna came to him. Krishna, who had earlier been healthy, was pale and breathless. He came to know from Krishna that he was passing blood with stool and he suspected it to be piles. When Krishna went to the hospital, the doctors advised him surgery. Krishna was scared of surgery. Moreover, earlier Krishna had been cured of rashes by a Malayali sadhu, who had asked Krishna to mix the crushed bark of a tree with duck's eggs and eat. But this time the sadhu, who had grown old, described the plant to Krishna as he had no strength to search for the plant. Since the description matched the features of the miracle creeper, the author took him to the creeper which Appanna had tied to a tree, and Krishna drank the ground tuber of the creeper with milk. He was completely cured in 5 days. Moreover, the author, who had eaten a small piece of the root to see how it tasted, got cured of the pain in his heel. The swelling that had developed next to the bone of the heel, for which the surgeon had recommended surgery, also disappeared. The author, even after the cure, has a few doubts. He wonders whether the cure is coincidental or the effect of the medicinal quality of the plant. Even if it were to be the effect of medicine, he knows that he cannot be sure of which type of swelling would be cured by the creeper. With these questions in mind, the author concedes that Indian medicine, even if effective, suffers from the problem of the native doctors not sharing their knowledge with others because of their fear that if spoken about, the plant would lose its medicinal quality. He avers that this situation has brought India's native medicinal systems to the verge of extinction. Around a medicinal creeper comprehension 1. 1. What did Mara do when he found the creeper? Or, where did Mara tie the creeper? Answer. Mara caught hold of one of the tendrils of the creeper and tied it to a nearby tree. 2. Mention the curse about the medicinal plant. Or, what was the curse of the sage on the medicinal creeper as narrated by Mara? Answer. The curse on the plant by a sage is that when someone needs the plant, he will not find it. It was this curse which led to the practice of tying the creeper to a nearby tree so that people would find it when they needed it. 3. What surprised the white man? Or, what surprised the white man when he removed the bandage on Mara's hand? Answer. The white man was surprised that Mara's wounded hand had got cured within a couple of hours of getting cut, just by placing the leaf of a medicinal plant on the wound and bandaging it. 4. How did the mongoose and the cowcle cure themselves of a snake bite? Or, why do the mongoose and the cowcle chew the medicinal creeper? Answer. They chewed the leaf of the medicinal plant if they were bitten by a snake. 5. Why had Mara lost his teeth on the right side? Answer. Mara had brushed the right side of his mouth with a small stick broken from a nearby plant, and when he gargled and spat the water out, the teeth which had been touched by the stick tumbled out of his mouth. 6. What did Mara's wife find on opening the packet of meat? Answer. Mara's wife found a live wild buck instead of the meat of the barking deer on opening the packet. 7. What happened when milk was mixed with the juice of the creeper's leaves? Or, what was the effect of the juice of the medicinal creeper on milk? Answer. The milk became thick. 8. When would the medicines lose their potency, according to the belief of native doctors? Answer. The native doctors believed that if they told others about their medicines, the medicines would lose their potency. Around a medicinal creeper comprehension 2. 1. How long did it take the narrator to learn the facts about the medicinal creeper? What does it signify? Answer. It took almost 20 years for the narrator to learn the facts about the medicinal creeper. First of all, it shows that not enough research work has gone into the field of herbal medicine. The illiterate natives know that some plants are medicinal, but they don't know the exact benefits that can be reaped from these plants. Moreover, even the ones who know the value of the plants don't let out the secret because of the belief that if spoken about, the plant might lose its potency. There is also the question of exaggeration. People like Mara knowingly or unknowingly add a few juicy bits to their experiences, and hence, for a third person, it's difficult to differentiate between fact and fiction. As a result, even a fact is confused about fiction. Lastly, even people like the narrator, who have an interest in the medicinal plants and conclusive proof of its benefits, fail to pursue the matter in a consistent manner with concerted efforts. 2. What does the incident of Mara's wife throwing the leaves into fire tell us about Indians in general? Or, the incident of Mara's wife throwing the leaves into the fire reflects the ignorance of India's native medicinal systems. Discuss. Answer. When a live wild buck appeared in the place of the meat of the barking deer and ran away, Mara ran after it. Mara's wife, without knowing anything about the background of the episode, picked up the leaves and threw them into the fire. It shows that even after such an unusual incident of the dead meat turning into a live animal, the woman was not interested in finding out what could have led to the miracle. It shows the casual attitude Indians have towards the medicinal plants. 3. How was Krishna cured of his illness? Or, how was Krishna cured of piles? Answer. Krishna had piles problem, and the only cure for it in allopathy was surgery. Krishna, an illiterate, was terrified of surgery, and hence he went to the village godman for treatment. The godman, being old, could only give the description of the plant which could be used for his cure. Since the description matched the features of the miracle creeper, the author took him to the creeper which Appanna had tied to a tree, and Krishna drank the ground tuber of the creeper with milk. He was cured completely in 5 days. Around a medicinal creeper comprehension 3. 1. Do you think the author is suggesting that Indian herbal medicine is better, safer than allopathic medicine? Discuss. Answer: yes, he does. Although he expresses doubt over the incredible stories of Mara about the efficacy of certain herbs and plants, he shows very clearly that Indian herbal medicine can work wonders with illnesses which in allopathic medicine have either no cure or cure only through surgery with all its associated problems. Right at the beginning of the piece, he avers that out of the many stories about an unusual medicinal creeper, though some are imaginary and some false, some are true also. He also states that it took him 20 years to arrive at the facts with regard to this creeper. Though he keeps referring to Mara's stories as improbable, he concedes that not all of them can be dismissed as buncombe. Even after Mara's death, the author is troubled by what Mara had to say about many a plant in the forest. His speculations get a fillip when milk gets curdled and becomes rubbery after squeezing the juice of the medicinal creeper he had seen Mara and Appanna tying to a tree into the milk. Although he is still not sure of what medicinal quality the creeper might have had, he is certain that the creeper has certain unusual qualities. The incident with Krishna, his former farmhand, further confirms his notion. First of all, the writer tells us that Krishna was cured of his rashes by the medicine given by a Malayali sadhu, concocted out of the bark of some tree crushed and mixed with duck's eggs and eaten. Secondly, the writer cites the incident of Krishna getting cured of his piles by drinking the ground root of a creeper, mixed with milk. Further, the author points out that just by eating a small piece of the tuber to see how it tasted, he seemed to have helped his heel, which had been paining for quite some time. The swelling that had appeared next to the bone of the heel also disappeared. Though the writer is not very sure whether the healing is a result of the medicinal properties of the creeper or not, he is of the opinion that the possibility is worth exploring. That is why he laments that India's native medicinal systems are on the verge of extinction. 2. What has made the modern man lose the knowledge of traditional medicine? Answer. As the author himself points out, the belief of the native doctors that if they told others about their medicines, the medicines would lose their potency has resulted in the loss of knowledge of traditional medicine. Secondly, since the sadhus and godmen have more or less been illiterate, the knowledge has not been carried forth in the written format. Thirdly, those like Mara who have benefited from such medicines, exaggerate the facts and hence the facts are mistaken for fiction. Fourthly, even the educated lot, like the author himself, take a long time even to pursue the matter and see if there is truth in the claims made by people such as Mara. In addition to all this, Ayurveda is dismissed by allopathic practitioners as buncombe. So, Ayurveda has to fight the ignorance of the illiterate and the arrogance of the literate. Moreover, it has to combat the indifference of the government, which has not really tried in a significant way to explore the possibilities of Ayurvedic cure. 3. Our natural resources are our vital resources. Explain the statement in light of several developmental projects that are being promoted today. Answer. India is a peninsula covered by water on 3 sides and protected by the Himalayas on the other. The land has many mountains and rivers, and 3/4 of our land is agricultural. In addition, our human resource, which is also a natural resource, is strong. Thus, the topography and eugenics of India make it very clear that our natural resources are our vital resources. Hence, we should try to improve our economy in the area of natural resources instead of technology and industry. When we do this, we will tap the potential of our human resource. But the sorry state of affairs is that we are promoting projects which harm natural resources as they involve machines instead of people. It is farcical that we consider them developmental. They are far from being developmental, and they have brought the nation and the people of the nation to the brink of disaster. We should have projects which would tap solar energy, harvest rainwater, and recycle natural resources. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WebSeek Academy for more English lessons and notes. See you in the next video. Until then, learn more and achieve more.